Hello and welcome to the Small Business Scoop with My HR Toolkit. I'm Kathryn Wilson and today we're going to be in a discussion with a number of companies and individuals discussing the 4-day working week. We've seen a lot more of this in the last year due to a lot more people working from home and enjoying it. It's also helping professionals find a better work-life balance. So tell me a bit about your business. They've made the headlines very recently. They started the conversation about the 4-day working week, which is so interesting because you're one of the first. You're based in Leeds, is that right?
We are, yeah.
Based in Leeds. So you've been doing that. You've implemented the 4-day working week since July now. Tell us how it's going and tell us a bit about what on earth inspired this.
Okay, so first of all, it's going fantastically, but I'll come on to that. And I think what the pandemic did was gave us a chance to look at every single bit of our business and interrogate it and work out what we could do better for our business and for our people. We've always been a people before profit agency. So, for us, if we could make it work, it was a no-brainer to make it work. And I guess, what happened with everybody working at home was we started to work more effectively. We were just being much more proactive with our time. We changed the way we did meetings, and what we'd always done before was fine. There's nothing wrong with that. But when we started to move into sprint meetings and just being more efficient with our time, we realised, we could probably do this over 4 days. Richard and I had talked about this for a couple of years, and wouldn't it be great if? But like every other company we know, especially in our industry, God, could we make it work? How could that work? Is it even possible? And we talked about it. We brought the team in to talk to them about it. We spoke to all of our key clients about it. And we kind of felt, do you know what? It is possible. Why can't it be possible?
Yeah. So recently you've been in the news talking all about how yourselves as an SME have benefited from a 4-day working week. And I know a lot of our viewers and our listeners tuned in right now will be wondering if this is something they could implement into their company. So you've been doing it since, it's been permanent since June, is that correct, Dave?
Yeah, that's right. Yes. So we did a 9-month trial. We actually started talking about this back in March of 2020, in and around the first lockdown. Obviously, like many organisations, we were trying to find a way in which we could look after our people, and that includes, people who were sort of stuck at home, they might have lived alone, and how do we kind of do the pastoral care, but make sure that they're all okay. So from that, really, we started to think about, well, what else could we do? And the 4-day week really came from that. So we then sort of took the summer to try and work out how we were going to do things, and then from October launched a trial. And that ran for 9 months because obviously we went back into lockdown, and it was kind of quite a difficult period for everybody. So we wanted to make sure that we were giving it a fair shot. Yeah. And at the end of June, yes, we confirmed it as a permanent policy.
So most of the companies we have been speaking to have only just started their 4-day working week journey. And your company has had this implemented for over 2 years now. Is that correct?
That's about right. Yeah, we started, I want to say about March. Well, yeah, I think we put this into place about March of 2019. And and I think like everybody else, we started the 4-day week as a bit of an experiment. It was also as a bit of a cost-saving measure. And basically what happened, if I can give you the longer story, we noticed that if we didn't, say, land a new project, if we didn't get the next round of funding, that we would have had to let people go. It's like we can either keep all the staff on and be out of work in 4 months, or we can extend this by saying, well, what if we try this 4-day week? And so cut everybody's salary by 20% and work the 4 days. And so basically it was the group pooling together to say, we want to keep everybody on because we've got such a great team here. But the promise was made that if we can keep our productivity up to where it was, then once we do land the next project, I will put everybody's salaries back up the 20% that they lost. So basically they're getting a 5-day salary spread out over a 4-day week, but with regular length days. It's not like we're packing 40 hours into less time. It's not 4 long days. It is 4 regular days. It's slightly longer, 5:30, but that's one of the trade-offs, I suppose.
So a couple of companies we've been speaking to, they also have their day off or their extra weekend day on a Friday. What made you decide that day?
Yeah, that's a great question. Look, many organisations have kind of just run and said, hey, people, you can do this on any day that suits. And I know that for a larger organisation that works pretty well. Because we're a smaller company and because we've got a lot of part-timers, we needed to have some core working days. So pretty much that's, for the most part, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, but really Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So part-timers would tend to work through those days. So that means that at least we get sort of the 2 and 2. So people work 2 days in the office and 2 days out of the office. And the collaboration piece that brings about is really important to us. The cultural piece that brings about is really important to us. So having the Friday also kind of works pretty well because people want to go away and go traveling. It's actually a 3-day break. So you freshen up. I think, what we've probably seen but haven't measured particularly well is that on a Monday, people are just a bit more sparky, a bit more creative, a bit more innovative, they're more energetic. If I kind of take my own personal circumstances, that's absolutely the case because you haven't had Wednesday and then followed by 2 days. You've had Friday and then Saturday and Sunday. And so that's really been fantastic.
Putting the push more on rest, we say, every weekend is a 3-day weekend. And yeah, you'd be surprised at how much you need. Like you use Friday to decompress and you use Sunday to prepare for the coming week. Everybody's on a mental, that sort of defragging that you do on the weekend. But if you only got 2 days to do it, you really still never quite make it out of that. You never quite take time off on Saturday or something. You're always kind of thinking about what's coming next because the break is too short.
I think it's worked well that we've picked that day because then you really do feel like you've had a long weekend. If people want to go somewhere and see family and friends, they can go on a Friday morning and they really have a good long weekend. Everybody chooses to spend their time differently.
And how have you found that? How have you managed to find out that it's more productive post your change?
Yeah, look, we had, high level, we had 80% better growth last year than we had the year before. Now, that's due to a number of different things. That's business maturity, that's investments in systems and processes and things. And, obviously as a SaaS business, you want to go faster and faster, but you can't deny the fact that the 4-day working week is a part of that. So there's that. I think, if you look at the individual circumstances, then because you're starting to focus on actually what is productivity, then at an individual level, you're starting to build systems and ask those questions, and that's then starting to kind of drive much more of an awareness of, hey, this is what I've got to do to be successful at an individual level, and of course that then escalates up to a per team, per function, per company level.
And it's been just brilliant. For our team, it's been a huge success. I mean, quite simply, more downtime means more creativity. People doing a bit more of what they love and getting that rest means they're more up for it when they come in on those 4 days. We are working harder. And when we're in, we are in and we are working hard on those 4 days. And that's what they have to do to make it work. Everybody knows that. Everybody has that understanding. And we've seen nothing but positive impacts on the business really and on the team. So, I'd encourage more people to follow, and it will become the norm. It doesn't have to be this huge thing that seems impossible. You just have to make it work for you.
Yeah, it's the outcomes from it. I think it really does come down to the understanding that in a creative company, time in front of a screen doesn't necessarily equate to quality of work. You might get quantity, but you're going to get a whole bunch of really tired people by Wednesday and people who work the weekend and coming in on Monday still burnt out. And the quality of work you'd be getting out of that is low energy. And everybody just sort of, it's attendance more than performance. Let's put it that way. So with a focus shift onto performance and energy, being well rested, good work-life balance, all that sort of thing, I actually find that we get more out of people from a productivity standpoint on any of the, on the assignments they would have had. They can get stuff done in less time because they're well rested and they're ready for work. They've got the energy.
So maybe an owner or director of an SME might be listening to this now, and they might be terrified of the prospect of, even, suggesting this to their company. How do you think someone, if they have that mindset, should go about it?
I think, really sit down and just work out not why it can't work, but why it can work. And I think if you brainstorm all the things that are concerning you about why it's not going to work, and then all the benefits of how it would be great if you did, and then just kind of work through those processes, and then do it as a trial and see how it goes. We never promised our team it would be for the long term. We initially said it's up to you to make it work. We all want this to work, but it might not. But what's the harm in giving it a try? And again, it does depend on your sector for what will work. For example, if your customer services, you can't just shut on a day a week, but it doesn't mean you can't do a model where people have different days off. I think just focus on what can be done rather than what can't be done. We used to work a 6-day week, now we work a 5-day week. Why can't we work a 4-day week?
The key struggle and the key question I get asked as someone who's put together, who has their company running on a 4-day week, is how do you keep up productivity? And the problem with that question is that productivity is defined by your company. What do we consider to be productive? We base our schedules on it, we based our timelines on it, we based our yearly, 3-year plan on it, whatever it is. But if your definition right now of productivity is the 80-hour weeks, the expectation that we're not going to pay you for overtime, the expectation that we are going to ram all of our employees into the ground, and when there's nothing left we can use, we chuck them out and we get more. And don't get me wrong, there are plenty of companies that run on this kind of attitude and this kind of behavior, to the point that we've been accused of not preparing people for the industry by running our company the way we are. Wow. So it's like, how do you defend the fact that you're letting people have a comfortable amount of time to complete the work that you're assigning, and when they leave your company, how are they going to be ready for how the rest of the industry works? And I can't feel guilty about that, because I'm running my company in the way that I want the industry to be run. That I've worked my way through companies where I've been ground into the dirt, and I don't feel as though now that I'm running a company, it's my turn to perpetuate that cycle. In fact, it's my chance to break it. And I hope that these other companies that put this into play, the main thing that they have to overcome is that you can't take the schedule you laid out with impossible deadlines, impossible in terms of comfort, impossible in terms of stress. You can't take an 80-hour work week and force it into 4 days. You have to redefine what your company is willing to label as a productive week.
Work is a part of life. It's not life itself. So, you've got to celebrate everything that life has to offer. And if COVID and the pandemic has taught us anything, then things like family and friends and time doing things outside of work is really, really important. And actually, when you enrich your life, then you're a better employee. And if you've got a whole bunch of employees that have their lives enriched, then they're going to be more bought in. They're going to be more innovative. They're going to be more energetic. They're going to be more committed to the company purpose. And that, from an organizational standpoint, is fantastic. I think largely for me, as the CEO of the business, it's about making sure that you've got people who are all pulling together. And there's a lot of power in that. there's a lot of opportunity in that for an organisation to really harness this kind of collective purpose and collective vision, and for people to value it and to commit to it.
Thanks so much for watching and listening in, and please don't forget to like and subscribe to our content. I'll see you next time. Bye.